all your stuff. What can figure it out? That's how it chooses you.
Hello, Teresa.
Hello, Claire.
Welcome to It Chooses You Smidgen Edition. Smidge-a-dish, smidge-a-dish, your weekly smidge.
That's very good. I like that one.
You're welcome.
I also like that you welcome me to our podcast.
I was welcoming them, but I just didn't say it.
Oh, you're not talking to me? We're talking to an audience that's not here?
I mean, sometimes.
Shit. I thought this podcast was for me, and you were just doing it for me. No?
That is what's happening, but then I'm secretly publishing them.
Oh.
I just took credit for all the work you do to publish the podcast. How you like that?
I like it fine. Go ahead. I am unconcerned. If you don't care who gets the credit, you can accomplish anything.
And if you're confident, it doesn't matter when people try and take the credit from you.
Oh, really? Do it now. Show me. How do you do it? Where do you go to do that?
Beep, beep, bop, bop, click, click.
I like that you're suddenly doing fake typing with your giant hands bonk, 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 bonk on the keyboard. I love that.
I will just Google, tell me how Teresa posts the podcast.
That's great, because there's actually a page on the website that's how Teresa posts the podcast, so you'll find it immediately.
I'll have it sorted in 5 minutes, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All catastrophes begin with the phrase, how hard can it be?
As we've discovered at length in many, many episodes of this podcast, that is true. You're great at pulling out themes from the things you read and experience, and that is definitely one that we found in these stories. How hard can it be? Cut to the deaths of everyone involved.
How did Teresa and Claire die? A podcasting accident.
Yeah. Everyone will be whispering at our funeral. What happened? What happened? Does anyone know what happened? Is it? And someone will know because someone will have discovered our bodies. Mike and Tim will be there in the back, all quiet. Mike thinking, we're not even together anymore. Why did I have to organize this funeral?
Death by podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm just trying to imagine how that would work. Like, how would this podcast bring about our synchronized deaths?
Yeah, I don't think this podcast can kill us. I think it can just confuse us deeply. I think an alternate name for our podcast is this podcast will confuse the shit out of you.
Yeah. Well, there's consistently a little anxious person in the back of my brain that thinks anything could kill me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in some sort of Rube Goldberg death machine.
Yeah.
I'm not going there. Okay. I'm not doing it. Shut up, little anxious person in my brain. I'm trying to not use the word insane. You know what I mean? I'm trying not to use crazy and insane and,
Yeah. It's lazy.
We don't need to do that.
I agree. That's right. I do it and I hear myself and I don't like it. I think it's wise to try and choose something more specific. Because insane and crazy is very it's a dismissal. And I don't want to dismiss it. I want to understand that shit. Bring it closer. Let me look at it in more detail.
Yeah, it's like when you write a paper and you use the word important. What does that mean?
Important to who? In what context? For how long? Important to me in the context of writing this paper at 11 p.m. when it's due at 9 a.m. the next day. But then you can't say that because so much academic work is lying about the circumstances under which it was created. No, I spent weeks and weeks and weeks researching and writing in the afternoon sunlight of my spacious office. Versus frantically screaming at my computer at midnight the day before it's due.
Right.
What do you mean I didn't save that file? God damn it.
Go home, academia. You're drunk.
Well, I'm very excited to hear from you today.
Oh, yes. The Smidgen is my milieu today.
Yes, Smidgen belongs to Claire. What you gonna smidge us with?
Oh, man. I'm gonna smidge you up about the video game Knights and Bikes.
Okay. I don't know it at all, but I love the title. Knights and Bikes.
I didn't know it at all last week.
Okay. Brand new.
So don't feel bad for being a week behind me.
I never feel bad for that. I'm years and years behind you, and I'm quite comfortable here.
All right, so this week I've been playing a new game on the PlayStation 4, though it is available pretty much on every platform you can imagine. And it is called Knights and Bikes. I've been playing with my cousin, and it's been a lot of fun. It's an indie game that's come out from an indie game company from England called Foam Sword. Foam Sword.
No. I think Foam Sword is much better.
I'm such a dumbass.
No.
Foam Sword.
It's perfect. But this is why people hate English, right? Because sword is a word. It just has an A, not an O.
What does that mean?
I think it's like a pasture, like area of green space, something like that.
Oh, okay. So it's from Swampford.
Just, you have to say everything with swa in it now. Every word, swa. Do it.
The game came out a couple of years ago, but I'm just coming to it now. In the game, you and a partner play Nessa and Demelza, two friends who go in search of a legendary treasure on the fictional British island of Penfurzy and release an evil curse in the process.
Oh, it's all the things I like.
I know!
You're hanging out with one friend, introvert's dream. You're on a bike adventure in England, on an island, looking for treasure. Oh my god, all those things I just love. And then, of course, you release something that you then have to deal with, starting an adventure, which I also love.
So it's also set in the 80s.
Oh, hold up. I take it back. I don't want to live in Britain in the 80s. Margaret Thatcher is a rough time.
That's true. As you've just pointed out, it touches on some of our favorite themes, treasure hunting. The creators of the game have said that it's inspired by the Goonies. Needless to say, if you're nostalgic for the days of lack of adult supervision, a theme we've covered extensively on this podcast, then you'll find plenty of that here in this game. The main characters are little hooligans, and that comes across in the game. Sometimes you have missions, but other times you just wander around destroying stuff.
That's the best. I love it when kids can't tell the difference between destruction and fun. Or like destruction and fun are the same thing. Oh, that's such a good time.
You pointed out this thing about you're hanging out with one other friend. It's really them against the world. Everyone else is either an adult or a jerk, And sometimes both. Quite often both.
Yep.
The gameplay is a really nice balance of combat and puzzle and story.
Nice.
This is a cooperative game. You can play solo, but if you play solo, the game itself controls the other character. It's refreshing that way that it's fully cooperative. The cooperative mechanics are integral to the gameplay. For instance, whenever you find loot, you can use it to upgrade your bike, but the upgrades can be used for both players. So when you find loot, it goes into a common pot, and then you use that money to upgrade bikes, and you both access those upgrades.
This is the level of trust that children have. You have a shared bank account.
Well, and you know what the other thing I love is your money, your loot is never counted. It's visually depicted by like how big of a pile it is, which I thought was so accurate to the way kids are. It's like, I don't know, it's a lot of money. It's a little bit of money. It's like a medium amount of money.
Large, medium, and small is basically how kids count their bank account balances. Yeah.
And so when you go to the bike shop and you go to buy something, the table just gets covered with whatever your loot is, and it's all shiny and colorful, and it's so beautiful.
That's amazing.
The bike upgrades are really cool. I have a skull flag on my bike. Mm-hmm. There's cool paint colors like unicorn swag. There's pom-poms. There's different kinds of tires and spoke decor and head plates for your bike.
Nice. I love all of this.
Yeah, you can really gussy up that ride.
Mm-hmm.
There are also some cooperative tactics in combat. So, for instance, I'm playing Nessa and my cousin's playing Demelza, just so everyone knows. I know that's going to be y'all's first question.
But Claire, which character do you play?
Yeah, I'm Nessa, okay? Nessa has sort of dark hair and usually a Band-Aid on her cheek, and she's sort of the more punk one, and Demelza has red poofy hair, and she's kind of the sneakier one. Nessa, my character, has the power to launch water balloons, and Demelza has wellies. Her specialty is stomping, so I can throw a big water balloon that lands, and then Demelza can stomp on it, which helps attack enemies. And then I also can throw frisbees, so I can throw a frisbee, and then Demelza can kick it so that we can get around corners and places that are tight angles.
Okay, so you're the hands, and she's the feet.
Kind of, yeah. We're a few days into the game, so we continually get more skills, so I'm sure there will be other skills down the line.
You like this game well enough to do a smidgen on it after only playing it a week. That's how good this game is. That's amazing. Awesome.
Yeah. For me, video games are usually a solo experience. So it's been really cool to have a game that I can play with a partner. As I said, you can play as a single player, and I believe that there's a mechanism where you can play remote with someone. So you might have to, if we can figure it out, you might have to get this, because I could see us playing together.
Mm-hmm.
The theme song is really great. It's very punk. It's all about riding your bikes. The lyrics are, I want to ride my bike. I want to ride my bike. And then they're screaming. It's great. The other thing I wanted to mention is that the aesthetics of the game are very unique. The animation is 100% hand painted. And it has this really colorful, messy, what I call ugly pretty style that's charming. Very childlike, but also attractive to look at and skilled, you know. There's a beautiful use of the theme of loss throughout the video game. Again, I'm only a few days in, but Demelza has recently lost her mother. So she lives in a trailer park alone with her dad, but the cool thing is she has her own little caravan. It's awesome. Sleeping bags on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
She and her dad are sort of dealing with this loss, and the family used to own this mini golf course together, but the mother was sort of the artistic vision behind the mini golf course. And now that she's gone, Demelza has taken one of the... her mother designed the queen of the golf course after herself. So she's taken this cutout of her mom and put it in this special hidden place with jewels and flowers around it. You see the characters meet in the game. Nessa shows up out of nowhere and she's alone. And she's like 12. She arrives on Penfurzy Island alone as a young person. And I don't really know her story yet, but she's alone for some reason. And so there's a lovely theme of loss and a sweet message of collaboration and friendship and imagination and the importance of that. So,
do they meet at the altar that Demelza's made for her mother?
They meet at the harbor. Demelza sees Nessa get off the ferry and is like, "Who's that kid?" And they're instantly friends. It's clear that Nessa is using Demelza a little bit, that she's really interested in finding that treasure. And much like the Goonies, what's happened is Demelza's father can no longer afford to pay. So they're about to be evicted. There's an urgency to find the treasure and save their home.
Nessa found herself a townie who needed treasure too.
Yeah.
She's like, help. Where is this place? I don't know where I am. No, please, no questions. Yes, I'm 12, and yes, I traveled here by myself. Don't ask me why.
I need somewhere to crash. That's basically what she says. And Demelza's like, you could stay with me.
Is it 1908 in this game? 12-year-old needs a place to crash. Has she traveled across country on her horse?
It's a very charming, fun game with a lot of heart about friendship and treasure and discovering what's important to us.
I love it. I'm excited to play.
So if you want a puzzly combat game where you play a 1980s hooligan, y'all, which, I mean, if you don't, you do. If you don't, quit lying to yourself.
You really, come on, you're being really unconscious right now. You need to like elevate and understand what you really want, which is what we say you want.
Let me be in control of your needs and desires, okay?
See, you're trying to do it for other people, but you won't do it for me.
Oh my God. How dare you listen to what I say and respond to it? How dare you? The nerve.
The noive, yeah. The noive. Yeah, I'll stop listening to you. That's not a problem. You don't need to tell me to stop listening. It's challenging to start listening to someone.
Oh, damn it.
Cutting you out is easy.
Got it reversed. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for telling me. I'm excited to play it. I'm definitely going to look it up.
Yes, everybody, please check out Knights and Bikes on your preferred gaming platform. It's a great time.
So this has been the Smidgen edition of It Chooses You. And if you liked it, please download this and other episodes. Thanks.
Yeah, and like it and subscribe to it too. Why not?
Okay.
See, I convinced you.
You did. I'm going to do it right now.
Sweet.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye. Thank you, everybody.
Testing. Great. Thank you for listening to It Chooses You. Your hosts are Teresa Sparks and Claire Patton. Our theme song is by Bobby Dart. If you'd like to get in touch with us, drop us an email at itchoosesyoupodcast@gmail.com.